Hello everyone. Good evening. I'm Dan Montague, your host here, and this is the MCS Racehub. Hooray! I'm joined here by Smoking Nix to my left and Mike Kubicek to my right. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about you, Dan?
I'm doing great. How about you, Mike?
Oh, it is a great day. I'm glad to be here. This is gonna be a good show.
Now, Mike is our guest commentator today. So,
Yes, I
we
am.
have a couple topics to go over today. We are going to start off today talking about the last race, the first race of the chase, Daytona. Very controversial finish there. Overall, guys, I think you can agree with me on this one. It was a very good race, start to finish.
The uh, racing was great since I was in there and you were there too. Unfortunately, Mike could make it, but the beginning it seemed like there were some troubles, but then there was one run where the whole field spread out and it created for some green flag racing. I believe we had a cycle of green flag pit stop, or came close to at least to a green flag cycle of pit stops, and that was a first for the season, as we haven't even come close to green flag pit stops this season. So that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah. And Mike, I know you were watching part of the race at home, or I guess at Wendy's. What you saw, did you like the racing?
Yeah, well, what I saw was the fact that there was I caught the end of the race where there's a lot of wrecks, and I actually even missed the controversial ending that we'll get to later in the show. But I mean, what it looked like it was very close racing. A lot of if one person made a little slip, it would just it caused calamity. There was a lot of big wrecks towards the end of the race. But from what I saw, it probably was a good race if I would have been able to watch the whole thing. But from what I saw, it really looked like it was good.
Yeah, there was, I believe, five cautions. Well, once you add overtime, that was our first overtime of the year. I think once you add the overtime, there were eight or nine cautions, so well below the season average. And then also, there, like Nick said, we almost had some green flag pit stops. I know I was about 5 or 10 laps away from having to, so. Let's get to the finish, of course. It happened in overtime. Nix, we're going to let you explain to the viewers what happened.
All right, so we pro. I'll take it back to the restart. The restart was really messed up. They're the leader, the 22 of MJ. He was taking the field at 80. And once he hit the tri-oval where the supposed restart box is, he basically slowed it down 20 miles per hour before the start finish line, which really stacked up the field and screwed up the restart. And it basically allowed for a four-car breakaway. And then Dan, you got in the back of, I believe it was either Nos or me, and that created you to punch back, which took you out of contention. So we fast forward to the white flag. First is MJ, second is Nos, and third is me. So off of turn two down the back straightaway, I decide to pull up and to try to get something going, and Nos realizes that I went up, so he makes the move to the outside because he had help. And it looked like from the views that we had, the 22 came up on the 78. Now that is the controversial part. As the rules stated earlier by league owner Dr. Koalas, he clearly stated if a leader blocks on the last lap and it causes the second place car to punch back or basically wreck, then they would be getting a last place finish. The controversial part is, did MJ block or not? And there is a video on YouTube that shows the incident. Um, and I think there'll be a, I guess hopefully there'll be a link in the description to the incident, and you can comment your side of the story on it.
Yeah, and this is actually a great transition because I actually have the league owner, Dr. Koalas, or Matt Rodriguez. I have him on the phone right now. So, We're gonna get his side of the story right here. Um, Matt, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, what was your take on the whole incident?
Well, my take, of course, I was in the back the whole race. I couldn't get a good view, but from video evidence, there's multiple video evidence of what happened between MJ and the third place driver, which was Nick's. In some angles, it showed the driver of the 22 of MJ going up when Nas and MJ making a move. But there are some angles, if you look in the back of the corner, you'll see Nas making a move. Then when Nas barely goes down, that's when MJ went up, that made the flag punch.
Alright, so, many of the drivers believe that, Smoke and Nick should have been credited for the win since he was second, and like he said, the rules state a block would send you to last place, considering it was the end of the race. Now, you still counted MJ Glide as the winner. What was your thinking behind that verdict?
Well, my thinking between that is everyone is racing to win. Nick is racing to move on to the next round because of his schedule on Friday. MJ is racing to win because he has to have the best luck of the season, and Roquish's best finish on road course is second. That happened last week at Sebring with the photo finish. But it took me a while to decide. I had to sleep on it and everything, but again, everyone's trying to win. It was a racing incident, I would say, but everyone's racing for the position. The only person that I saw that did block was D-Money and Nas. Of course, they get a warning because they made the first start of the ovals. MJ knew before the race started that you cannot block. Yes, there's been some races that people did block and we didn't call a penalty. But
Alright, thank you for talking to us, and have a good rest of your night.
alright, thank you.
Alright, so we, of course, thank you, Matt Rodriguez, for talking to us now. Now, Mike, you've been up there contending for a win. What do you think was going through MJ's mind there, and what would you have done if you were in MJ's shoes?
Alright, well, I feel like MJ was just like, he was probably trying to see what was going on between Nos and Nick, trying to see how they were going to get run. Of course, the thing is, I've noticed, especially at Daytona, just because you have a run doesn't always mean you end up making the pass. So I understand, like, they were trying to find some advantage. Yeah, I even got to look at the replays since I didn't get a chance to see it live, and it just looked like to me like they were all jogging for position. I saw Nos end up going up and then coming down, and as MJ was also going up. Of course, also whenever I also watched one of the replays that was kind of like what would happen live, I did also see MJ do make a little bit of a wiggle, so I could kind of like see, like, because MJ was talking after the race that he kind of had to stabilize his car, so I can maybe see where that was coming from. I would have probably have done something where I would have maybe not have moved, or if I was trying to move, it wasn't on purpose. It was just my car was not like going the way I wanted to, and I would have just let them race it, and hopefully I would have still had enough time to try to get a run on them before we cross the start-finish line.
And you are also a rules analyst, so with what Nick said about the restart slowing down that much before the start and finish line, do you think the officials will have to make a rule about that, or do you think what MJ did slowing down that much was fair game?
I mean, we have given the parameters that you had to be above 60 and below 90. Does not mean you can change it any way you want. So realistically, I don't really see how that realistically that was okay to me. I feel like, yeah, it may have bunched the field up, but, he also wanted to make sure we were all ready to... He may have made sure they were all ready to go, so that way then, we wouldn't have anyone, lagging behind or anything. So it maybe would have maybe not the drastic change should happen, but if it kind of happens to where you're slowing down just a bit so that way then everyone can get close enough together. Because I know there's a lot of people, I've seen this in the past races, that kind of tend to lag back just a bit so they can maybe gauge on when the leader hits the start finish line so they can kind of go. So I think that was also maybe a strategy to make everyone kind of be right there and ready to go, so that way then no one can have a distinct advantage once you get off the restart.
Now, Nix, do you agree with him? Do you think that was fair game, or do you think he was in the wrong there?
I think he was being second there. I don't see what the point was there, and the parameters were 60 to 90. And if you watch the clip, he does go below 60 for a split second, which and that's right before the start finish line. He drops it to 59, and I would understand maybe if someone needed to catch up. Or maybe if someone was lagging back, but no one was lagging back in that situation clearly enough to slow it down so drastically. And the things you've got to watch out for is, what if people stacked up and hit each other and got damaged right before the restart? There's no reason for people to get damaged before the restart. And I think that ultimately led to that did lead to a spin. Yeah.
But I just got information from Matt, who we just talked to. Actually, the speed limit is 50 to 90. So MJ was still okay.
Okay,
All
but
right.
still I think part of the rules that have been stated and given to the driver.
Oh. Well.
That's what Taco Bell does to you folks. I guess this is a good timing. Even though there was controversy behind it, MJ Glad did win that race, and we are going to invite him onto the set now. We're going to ask him some questions. Yeah, there was definitely some controversy there, but he is the race winner, so come on up, MJ.
Hey guys,
Hello, MJ.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just fantastic. My back is killing me though, but doing pretty good.
Yeah, you were involved in one of those serious wrecks there yesterday, so first of all, congratulations on your win. And just real quick, what was your whole take on the incident with blocking and everything?
Well, coming off of turn 2, my car was a little bit unstable getting off the corner, and I tried to get to the inside lane, but for whatever reason, the back end of the car was just wiggling a little bit down the back straightaway, like it always has been the entire race. But and I was looking behind me to see what Nas was gonna do, and as soon as I looked behind me to see what he was gonna do, he started moving up, but it looked like he made his move too early, and he ended up hitting the rear bumper of my car. All I know is that I did not block the 78 car to go to the outside, because there would be no reason for me to block going down the back straightaway, and knowing that he won't be able to clear the pass going into the next turn.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Mike, do you want to ask a question?
No, I really don't. I think he kind of answered anything that I had.
Yeah. So, overall, what was your take of the racing overall?
the racing overall was actually a lot of fun. There was some instances where Nas and D-Money did block and caused a car to get damage, and it clearly looked like they blocked. So they got warnings for those, which was great in their part. But the racing everywhere else, like 3 wide, making slingshot passes, needing to use other people to go to the lead. That was what racing was all about, and the wrecking was just part of the excitement.
Yeah. So overall, the rest of the chase, how does this win at another oval track affect you?
It affects me greatly. It actually gives me more confidence going into the next race, and hopefully push myself further into cementing myself into the next round.
Now, I forgot to bring this up earlier, but another big topic of late in this season is uh, all the racers are starting to turn on the Aston Martin, and yesterday we used the V8s. So, after the race yesterday, are you still kind of leaning towards the V8s, or did you kind of miss the Astons at a speedway?
I actually like the V8s a little bit more on the super speedways. It created a lot more competition out there in the draft, and you were able to actually use the draft to make the passes instead of going to the outside and having it stall out.
All right. And we are just going to give you 1 minute to talk to the viewers to get them back on your side here because a lot of people may think you were in the wrong there. So go ahead. You have the floor. Make your case.
All right. The case that I'm gonna make is I coming off turn 2, my car was very unstable and my car was wiggling on the backstretch. Nas closed up and hit the rear bumper of my car when he was trying to make the pass. Like what happened to me in practice with Dr. Koalas. It's lag punch is gonna happen when you hit the rear bumper of these cars, especially if you hit it very slightly. So I felt very badly for Nas. On the restart, I chose to slow down a bit because I felt like Nix was laying off a little bit, and he was not lined up to where I was at, which is why I slowed down to 60. I'm sorry if that messed anybody up. But I had to do what I had to do to try to keep my lead in that aspect. And again, I'm very greatly sorry for Nas for losing the race, but I know for a fact that I did not block him.
Now, one last question here. Do you think the fact that Nas is not a chaser, do you think that had any effect in the decision of you winning the race?
In a way, I think it did, but and the fact that other racers have had problems with him in the past. So I honestly don't know how they feel about it or how but I know that I feel like that Nas making the pass and making it too late, hitting me, and then saying that I blocked it was a kind of a messed up situation on its own right there.
All right.
So, yeah.
Thank you, MJ, for joining us. Good luck next week, and good luck the rest of your way in the chase.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it doesn't get too many people mad that I won the race. So.
Yeah.
All right, Daytona, first race of the chase. A great start, great race, no problems whatsoever. Ha, yeah, right. All right, so clearly everyone wants to hear my opinion about the MJ Nos incident, but we'll save that for last. On to the good parts of the race. Great first 49 laps by all these drivers. I'm not giving a cigar award to one guy. It's going to that whole field for keeping that basically clean the whole race. And I got to give it a shout out to my buddy Nix for walking away from that horrible crash off into turn 1. Him and Dr. Koalas, they both flipped multiple times off in turn 1. Good for them. Both get a cigar award for walking away from that. Good for them. Now, almost green flag pit stops. But, there's just that one guy every time that spins it around. And this time it was the 48. The last driver you think that would do that, but it was the 48. But I'm not going to call intentional because you cannot blame old Chad for anything that happens in this sport. So we're going to say he hit the apron and lost control on accident. Now, onto the MJ Nos incident. Now, off turn 2, I don't know what everyone's looking at that says otherwise here. Clearly, the 22 goes down the back straightaway as the leader. The 42 pulls to the outside, And then the 878 pulls to the outside because he's got the 42 with help. And the 22 clearly just drives right. He turns right up into the 78 and sends the 78 up into the outside the outside wall. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and I don't understand why the 22 gets this victory. The 42 wins this race. I don't understand what the MCS is thinking. That is unbelievable. So I gotta do it. Oh my god. It's the cry and tell. And it's for the Microsoft Cup Series officials. Oh my god. The Koalas literally says early in the race, oh, if you the leader, you lock someone on the last lap, you are getting sent to last. Oh my god. How is he not last? And then the 22 says he's lost control. You didn't lose control in the middle of the straightaway. You turned right. You did not lose control of the car. Oh my god. But the 22 is not to blame. He should be in trouble, but he's not the one that gets... Oh my god. He's not the one that gets penalizes himself. The MCS officials are the ones that don't penalize him. I don't get it. Oh my... Just take it away. Oh my god.
Alright, back to commercial.
Wow. What the fuck did these cocaines kill?
And we are back. That was a great segment by Jimmy Spencer there. Always entertaining. It is time for our week predictions. Well, I can't say week. Next race is on Friday. Twitch.tv/Dr. Koalas. Tune in there. What time is the race? 7?
7:30, I believe.
7 Eastern?
No, I think
7 and
no, I think
7:30. Run the time.
Yeah, around 7 Eastern. So it is time for our race predictions. We're going to start with MJ, our winning driver.
All right, I think that the next race is going to be a big one, and it's going to be a very exciting finish to that one as well. Mainly because we have a long straightaway, and a very very close, and a very very tight corners at the exit of these corners, which is going to cause a lot of bumping, a lot of banging, and also a lot of great racing. So we're going to pretty much see the funnel get jumbled up like this and have an amazing finish and a great race. Also, my prediction to win the next race would have to be Nick's.
All right. And my prediction, before I say my prediction, just a reminder, next week we are back in the Aston Martins. So, you know, I got to take Viper. He's been good ever since he's joined the league. Viper is my pick to win at Catalunya. Mike?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with someone that I think is due for another win. He hasn't won in a while. He's had great finishes. Had one small mistake happen towards the end of the race. I think, Dan, you are going to be winning this race come Friday.
Oh. All right. Go ahead, Nix.
give me I see cautions galore. What's happened the last few road course races. Give me blood in an upset special. I think it's time for a non-chaser to pull through here and get their first win.
All right, and once again, we invite the league owner, Matt Rodriguez, Dr. Koalas. Who do you think is going to win this race?
Well, I think I'm going to win this race. Guys, I am looking at the 42 of Smokey Nick. He came in the chase with so much confidence of winning this championship. Next, he's proven he could rope in the front. He can use that bumper, but he doesn't like to. But I'm telling you, watch out for that 42. It's going to be one hell of a driver and aggressive to win this race and lock himself in the next round in the chase.
All right, and I have one final thing to say. Of course, thank you everyone for watching. Go ahead and put in the chat or in the comments section whenever you see this who you think will win the race. We'll have a fan vote. And also, just a question for you guys. If Nos races, how many cautions do you think he will cause?
Honestly,
MJ,
I
you're
feel like there will be a decent amount of cautions that are going to end up happening, but I may not say all of them will be his, but he will probably have a couple. I think we all will be involved in or accidentally cause one along the way. But I definitely agree there will be a lot of cautions.
Anyone else have any opinions?
Nope, just hard, fast contact racing.
Now, Nix, you got cut off earlier. Do you want to finish what you were going to say?
Yeah, basically according to the rules now, I guess, with MJ's incident on the restart, it basically means I could go from 90 miles an hour right before the finish line, slam the brakes to 50, and then go. So I don't know if I should test it next race. I think that could add a new strategy to restarting, and we'll see if that situation occurs.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. From Dan, MJ, Mike, and Nick. It's either Friday or Saturday following the Catalunya race. We will see you then. Oh, wrong jester. Boo.